Most people in America can't save money, and it's gotten so out of hand that it's causing people who make good money to feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck and literally working to simply survive. And I think this has to stop. So I wanted to make a video so we can put an end to this problem once and for all. And it's kind of a communal effort, so it helps if you share this video, but that's for later. And if you don't know me, my name is Rue. I've been in the financial and business world for about 15 years now. I started my journey as a first-gen American, an immigrant, no money to my name, no college degree. Now I help people with their money and to help their businesses scale. And today we're going to go through the lessons I learned about money and have helped me not have a balance on my credit cards in years, at least not a revolving balance, right? And I'm going to show you how bad the savings problem in America has gotten. And of course, the financial mistakes I made when I was starting on this financial journey, so you can avoid them entirely. All of these lessons have put me on a trajectory, at least hopefully, as long as I keep doing this, to be able to retire early and not have crippling debt. So let's get into it. First things first, here are the problems. First, we have high interest credit card debt. And that high interest credit card debt in America is on average $5,000 per person. This is revolving debt and it's costing people on average over $1,000 a year in interest payments alone. Imagine what you could do with an extra $1,000 a year. I don't know, but I could do a lot. Problem number two is more than half of Americans have a big fat $0 in savings. Basically what that means is they would have to borrow money or sell personal belongings if an emergency expense of almost any amount came up. $250 vet bill. Time to sell your Nintendo Switch. Oh no, I need 4 new tires. Time to downgrade your iPhone to be able to go to work. Why is it hard to save? And that's kind of like the big question. When most people want things, they have what I call the get it now instead of get it later mentality. It's the same reason why Klarna and Afterpay have become such a big business, not just in America, but in other parts of the world as well. So much so that Australia even had to put a limitation on who can apply for these things. So that way it doesn't get out of control. Some people are even willing to finance a $40 DoorDash order and break it up into 4 payments. Yeah, and little do they know, if they miss one payment or if a payment hits and they overdraft, they're going to end up paying in fees almost as much as the DoorDash food that they had bought, which is crazy. That's $40. On top of that, what's even scarier than that is 49% of people who are making $100,000 a year on average are basically living paycheck to paycheck. Some of it has to do with the housing market, the rent prices, the food, all that, but a lot of that group could cover an expense if it came down to it, but no one making that sum of money should be just scraping by. A lot of that has come out at the consequence of lifestyle inflation and living above their means, but it's certainly not all of them. And in my opinion, might be half or more that were living according to their means. But because of increased money supply, things have gotten drastically more expensive, and wages, unfortunately, haven't kept up with the increased cost of goods and living expenses. And it sounds like I'm just reiterating another problem, but there is a solution. And let's also not forget that outside of the increased money supply problem, we are also seeing a squeeze of money available to everyday people and local economies due to wealth hoarding. And that might be a sensitive subject, especially if you had a family who had some wealth or inherited some wealth. From the trillions of dollars that was printed in the last 8 years, most of that, in fact, 99% of that ended up in the top 1 and 0.1%. When are they going to spend it to put it back into circulation for us everyday folk? Well, here's the bad news. They aren't until after their lifetime. And in some cases, generations down the road. And now that we know some of the major problems facing each and every one of us that are not in the 0.1% of America, you might be thinking, there's no way to fight back or reclaim the dominance of what was considered a powerful and necessary class, aka the middle class. It's either extremely poor or there's mega rich, or at least that's what the data is showing. We are getting closer and closer to late stage capitalism. But let's fix it. It's not an easy fix, but it's possible. First comes education, and mostly education on debt and credit cards, finances, that type of thing. And if you have $5,000 worth of credit card debt or any high interest debt, meaning debt above 8%, I am talking to you. Pay this off, refinance, do absolutely everything necessary to get out of it, okay? Sounds easy, but it will take sacrifices. And also, do not use platforms like Klarna and Afterpay. And definitely stay away from money loan places. Those places will ruin your life. Just go watch a Caleb Hammer episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. Next, understand where you are in terms of your personal income and where you could be. Look at your spending on wants, spending on needs, and savings investments. And look at the ratios between those things. The rule of thumb is you should aim for 50% of your income going to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to investment. And that is at a minimum. But if that seems out of reach right now, let me tell you how you get there. And there's two ways. One, you can decrease your spending by lowering your quality of life temporarily and at the same time cutting out all BS spending. Or two, you can increase your income while, keeping your expenses, relatively the same. And to increase your income, you have to increase your skill set and then applying to jobs that value that same skill set for that higher amount. And then you might be wondering, okay, now I'm making more money or I have less expenses and I can do the 50-30-20 rule. Now what? I'll tell you. Do this next thing for a decade. Don't worry, it's easy to do, even though it's for a long time, and it won't take up much of your free time, and that is to learn about investing, taking risks, look into if starting a business is for you, figure out how much you want to have in retirement by the time you retire, and work backwards from there. And I know that we all want to just check all of these things off very, very quickly, especially in this instant gratification economy, mostly so we don't feel like we're behind. But don't skip ahead or else you'll miss out on some of the growing pains, the required growing pains to achieve financial freedom. As my mentor used to say, nothing good in life comes easy and nothing easy in life is good. And this advice would obviously get you to understand money and get you to that financial freedom goal. But what's more important than just you personally, even though that is important, is actually helping those around you get there too. And I know what you might be thinking, like, how am I gonna do that if I'm just on my way there? I can't just give away my money. Well, it's not by just giving your money away. In fact, it's way less of that. That just teaches your responsibility, especially like when you don't have any to give, then you're being irresponsible and then you're teaching them responsibility that someone's just gonna come and bail them out. No, it's even more simple than that. It's by spreading this message, whether you send them this video or you just talk to them as a human being. And mostly talking about finances, investments with your friends, getting them interested in their finances and interested in their own goals. Sometimes in life, we just need to help each other and talk about our problems and talk about solutions. And a big problem right now, and has been for quite a while, honestly, is most people feel icky about talking about money to their friends and family, which is really not helping anyone, especially helping anyone's financial literacy. Think about it, right? So when Michael Jordan went out to dinner with his friends or family, do you think he talked about basketball or how the weather is? Well, Michael Jordan talked about basketball. When Jeff Bezos goes out to lunch with his colleagues, do you think they talk business and strategy or maybe they just talk about how they're feeling that day? No, he talks about business. And this exact laser-like focus on what they wanted or want is what led them to being number one in their field. So if you start having that same type of laser-like focus about your money, your investments, your future, your life, what do you think will happen? Do you think you'll get further away from your goals or closer to them? Do you think you'll earn more money or do you think you'll earn less of it? Do you think you'll be in a worse position or in a better position in the next few years? And I'll tell you, outside of death or some kind of ailment, with a nearly 100% certainty, you're going to be in a way better position than you are now. And it all starts with a shift in mindset and of course new habits. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's all possible. And for me, so I can make more content like this, please smash the like and subscribe button and share this with a friend to hopefully encourage them to also grow their wealth. And through that, maybe they'll even thank you for it. I mean, it might not be immediately, but in 10 years when they're sitting on a beach in the Bahamas, or in 20 years when they bought their first private jet because you encouraged them to get their shit together and start investing or start that business, hey, you never know what will happen. And as always, YouTube thinks you'll enjoy one of these next videos. See you in the next one. Peace.